Thank you so much for sending me in your questions each week. I absolutely love receiving them. So please, please, please keep them coming. Okay, I'm going to get straight in. So Fiona sent me a message, and thank you, Fiona. Hi, Jenny. Absolutely love your podcast. Oh, thanks a mil. Just wondering, what should girls wear to a black tie wedding? Good question. Have you any suggestions about formal wear? We're also bringing our children, so we need advice on what to put them into too. Fiona, I'm assuming this is probably a family wedding, because I would always find, just from my own experience, a lot of black tie weddings are littered with adults, and you very seldom see children. So I'm assuming it's a family wedding. I also had a question recently about what to wear for a black tie wedding in hot weather. Anyhow, look, let's just talk about, first of all, for the guys. Guys generally wear tuxedos to black tie weddings. So they'd normally sort of wear a formal white button-down shirt. They'd have cufflinks. They'd have a black bow tie, especially the groom and the groomsmen. I see black bow ties quite a bit. And I'd actually see, the grooms kind of try to change something that they're wearing in comparison to what the groomsmen are wearing, just so they can stand out a little bit. Sometimes I see the groom wearing, a velvet black tie, and the others wouldn't have a velvet black tie. So you don't have to wear a black bow tie either. You can wear a black tie if you like. Sometimes satin lapel dinner jackets, they're worn quite a bit. Silk pocket squares, sometimes guests leave these for the bridal party to wear though. And patent leather shoes. Like one of my grooms the other day had a gorgeous pair of patent leather shoes. And as he was walking away from me, I saw the red soles and I was like, ooh, I know what shoes they are. And then when I had a little look at them, they had like a little silver bolt in each of the shoe, and they were quite nice. And he said, you know what? He said, I treated myself to these pair of shoes because she spent a fortune on that wedding dress. And I was like, well, if you're going to wear them again, yeah, it's absolutely worth it. And then another thing, like for black tie weddings for guys, you can kind of spice it up a little bit. You don't have to wear, a black tuxedo. You can wear a bow tie, but you could wear a different colour jacket if you want to. It doesn't always have to be black, or you could still wear a black jacket if you wanted to and colour up the dicky bow. And you could also match whatever your other half is wearing. So sometimes when Martin and I are going out to something fancy, and I have a particular colour dress on, he will try and find a tie or a bow tie that he has that has a similar colour to the dress that I'm wearing. So once it's kind of formal, it doesn't always have to be black. So for the women, look, floor length gowns they're not essential, but they're worn quite a bit to black tie weddings. Again, it doesn't have to be black. I do a lot of black tie weddings. So recently I had gorgeous gear, and I just love looking at their dresses, And I had, one of the girls had like a lovely gold dress, and there was like a slit up the side, which was really stunning. So if you got the legs, show them off. Like you obviously can't show both legs off, but she just lit up the side and she just looked amazing. Again, bolder colours are great. Hot pink metallics and high slits are really, really popular, and really nice shoes as well. Low backs are very popular, along with V necklines. But don't be too revealing either. Don't go with V-neck and have cutouts on the bodice either. That's a different look altogether. So you can spice it up again, but floor length, and just once it looks like absolutely stunning. It will be absolutely okay for black tie. Do I need to wear a hat is another question that I got asked to a black tie wedding. If you don't like wearing hats, I don't like wearing hats unless I'm in the sun and I have to protect my head. But I don't like wearing hats in general to occasions. So you don't have to wear a hat. You could put something in your hair. You don't have to put something in your hair. But just once it's floor length, that would be okay. For the children, usually, like I said, children are not included in black tie weddings because they're generally for adults, but I have seen them at weddings. And, for little boys, if it's a winter wedding, they can wear, a black suit like the groomsmen. They can wear something completely different as well. Like I've also seen like little black shorts and braces and like a little dicky bow, long socks and a nice pair of shoes. So it doesn't have to be like a black little suit. You can kind of spice that up as well a little bit if you want to, but just make sure that they look formal, and a dicky bow is always good. Little girls like puffy skirts, tights with little kind of formal looking shoes. Tying their hair up in a ponytail if they've long hair, or even a bun, is actually quite important, and it will really work well with the theme on the day. So I hope that has answered your question. I get asked about black tie weddings quite a bit, and you want to look like the best version of yourself, and you want to look absolutely stunning. So floor length gowns for the ladies. It doesn't have to be black. Just don't wear white. I mean, I think you know that anyway. But just you can wear metallics, just floor length, and look as amazing as you can. Question number 2, Jenny, we are seriously thinking of getting married in another country. I love this question. I would love some tips on how to choose the suppliers if the wedding is going to be away. Now, like I said, I'm thrilled to be finally answering questions about international weddings, because it's a big thing. You go away, you get married, and an awful lot of girls at the moment are looking at a lot of influencers and bloggers who have gone off recently and have gotten married away in Marbella, in Spain, in wherever, in a hotter climate. And it just looks amazing. And the photographs that you're seeing on Instagram are the photographs that they want you to see. And I'm not against going away to get married. I actually travel off a number of times a year to do weddings abroad. So I'm not trying to put anybody off, but there is a lot of thinking that has to go in to having a wedding in another country, because you're dealing with a different language in most cases with wedding suppliers, and your wedding suppliers are, oh my God, I just can't emphasize this enough. It's really, really, really important that you get the right ones. So like I've said before, if you're getting married in Ireland, when you get married full stop, you need to have a good relationship with your wedding suppliers. You need to know that this supplier is excellent at their job and their personality is brilliant too, because you don't want somebody with you on the day who's going to be grumpy and moany and who's going to, create a negative atmosphere. You don't want that. And, even for kind of makeup and hair, it's really, really important. So generally when you go away to get married, like couples deal with a wedding planner associated with the venue or who is very familiar with the area. And it's good, I suppose, to have a wedding planner because then you can just have that communication with them and they can have the communication with the wedding suppliers. But the one thing I would say about wedding planners away, just again, through my own experience, and again, I could write another book on wedding planners abroad, they a lot of the time would book suppliers that they know, and they take commission then from each supplier. So you pay the wedding planner, they pay the supplier, and they're taking a little bit of money from the wedding supplier. So they will have a core list of wedding suppliers that they will recommend to you. But let's go back to talking about those wedding suppliers. You need to know that they're excellent at their job. She might, or he might, wedding planner might think that they're excellent at their job, but that may not suit what you want. Okay. So I reckon, and I'm telling you, you need to have communication with each one of your wedding suppliers. So let's talk about wedding suppliers. Makeup artist. Look, any wedding I do away, or that I photograph away, the couple generally bring suppliers with them. And I totally get why they do that. Like if you are booking a makeup artist in Marbella, in Spain, in Croatia, and you have not met them before, and you're rocking up on the morning of your wedding and they're painting your face and you don't like the makeup, you're not going to like your photos. And it's the same with your hairstylist. If they're after doing something to your hair that you absolutely don't like, you're not going to like your wedding photos. So it actually has a knock-on effect. So it's extremely important that you know who they are, that you've met them, that you've had a trial with them for your hair or your makeup, or you bring your own suppliers. Like photography in different countries. And, you've a lot of photographers who are absolutely incredible at what they do. And you get to see all these stunning photographs of the bride and groom. and they're just amazing. And in my experience, and from listening to other people, what they do a lot of the time is just put the focus on the ceremony, and then they take the couple off and they get 55 million shots of the couple. They take them down to the beach, they take them to all these different areas that they know, and they're gone for the day having photographs of just the two of them. Now, yeah, you want a good few nice photographs of the two of you on your wedding day, but you don't want it to take up the whole day. You want to have other photographs taken too. So just to give you a little example, I got my makeup done recently for the Style Awards, and I had a lovely girl, Michelle, who did my makeup, and she got married in Portugal. And she was telling me all about her wedding, and I saw some of the photographs, and I was talking to her about how lovely they were. And she said to me, I know, but she said, if I could go back, Jenny, she said, why didn't I bring somebody with me? Like, why didn't I bring you with me? And I thought, oh God, like you shouldn't have any regrets about this. Why? That she's really, really close to her mum. There wasn't one photograph of her with her mum on her wedding day. Not one. Imagine. And her mum put her into her wedding dress. She would have been around her, later on, just before the meal was served. And there wasn't one. And there were, a couple of family photographs, but she just really wasn't happy. She was happy with the couple photographs. They were stunning. She had so many of them. She said she has too many of them. She said, I look at him every day. I wanted to see the guests. I wanted to see how the day was going. I couldn't relive the day when I look back at my photos. So this is why I suppose I get brought away quite a bit to do weddings, because my couples want to make sure that every part of their day has been photographed and every family scenario has been photographed. Your bridal party has been photographed and your couple photographs are being shot. I did a wedding in Marbella a couple of years ago, and oh my God, the videographer was so bloody rude. And he was like, what are you doing? We never take photographs at this time of the day. And I thought that impression is really bad, but like... he was trying to speak to me about, what I was doing. I was doing my family photographs straight after the ceremony. So I found a lovely little area, they got married in this beautiful, it was like a castle area. So their drinks reception in one part, and then they had the meal in another part. So I found this gorgeous area where we did all the family photos. So they walked down the aisle, they did a little meet and greet, and then we went and did the family photos. And I did them all. And I don't leave any scenario out when it comes to family photos. So I've spoken about that before. And if you need any help with your family photographs, just send me a message. So I did all the family photographs, which took like 15 minutes. I moved on and I did the bridal party, and then I did their couple shots. Now, I did take them back out for golden hour, for sunset hour later on. But what the videographer was trying to say to me was, what are you doing? Like, we never do this. And I was like, well, they brought me from Ireland because they want this done, and this is how we do it. Well, that's not how we do it here. So that's what I mean. They photograph at different times of the day, and they don't put any emphasis on family photographs, any of the videographers that I've come across. So you've got to be really, really, really careful about who you choose to be around you on your wedding day. And if you're not sure about the suppliers that are being recommended to you, you're going to have to find the money and bring your own. And somebody asked me only there last week, what do I charge when I'm doing a wedding away? Now, I don't take on loads. I might take on maybe 3 a year, because what I would do is, say, for example, the wedding is on Saturday. I'll fly over Friday morning. I want to be in the area the day before, because I want to see where the sun is. I want to see, where the best light is. I'll pick out my spots, and I will do like a recce, which would probably take me about 3 hours, so that I'm fully aware of exactly what we're doing tomorrow. And then I'll meet my couple for like half an hour, 3/4 of an hour that evening. And I would say to them, so this is the plan for tomorrow. And we have it all sorted out. So that's why I would only do like about 3 every year, because I go Friday, I'll do the wedding Saturday, I'll stay with them right through until whatever time of the night, I need to. And then the following day, then I get up, have breakfast, go to the airport and come home. So 3 days it is kind of what it takes me. And what do I charge? So I don't charge for 3 days work. What I do charge is like the wedding fee. You'd be paying the same for it if you were getting married in Ireland. And I always bring somebody with me, because the luggage is like there's just so much of it. And the camera gear, it's very expensive and it's heavy, and it takes a couple of us to manage it. So Flights, accommodation and transfers to and from the airport is what I charge. And I'm sure a lot of suppliers charge the same. Now, I do know, and I spoke to another photographer as well, and they were like, you what? You don't charge them extra, but you're gone 3 days. I don't charge them extra because I just think it's, they have a budget and I'm delighted to be asked. So that's what I charge. Anyhow, just in case anyone's looking and they want to know. I love nothing better than to get away and shoot in different countries because I love the light, I love the different locations, and it's great for my old portfolio too. You have to also think about, the heat. So when you're picking your wedding dress, think about that and think about, well, what time of year am I getting married? Is it going to be the height of summer? Martin and I are only back from Spain, and the day we were leaving last week was 40 degrees. And we had planned to go down the road for something to eat before we left. We'll go down to that nice little Italian, and it's probably about a 10-minute walk down the road. We left the air-conditioned hotel, walked out, and I went, can't breathe, can't walk, can't walk down the road for 10 minutes in my jeans, and my shirt can't. So we're back into the hotel. So you have to really think about your wedding dress and, picking kind of one that's going to be cool on the wedding day. I always sort of say to men, and I have seen men go off and get married away and they bring their formal suit with them, their suit, their waistcoat, their tie. I mean, genie mackers, like waistcoats and jackets and ties. I totally get it because it's a wedding, but you can go for lighter fabrics. And there are plenty of them out there. So seriously think about the attire that you're wearing. And definitely no heavy dresses for the bride. And if you can, avoid your Spanx. I know that's terrible because I'm always giving out to women here, you have to have the right underwear underneath your wedding dress because I don't want to be seeing any knicker lines on the day. But if you can pick a dress that you don't have to wear Spanx with, because Spanx are going to have you sweating. So don't be wearing them if you can. Keep as cool as possible. Like I said, I can't recommend bringing your favourite suppliers with you enough. This is your wedding day. You're only going to do it once, and you want to make sure that you're happy with everything, and ultimately you're happy with your hair, your makeup and your photographer, and then everything else will be perfect. Makeup artists can sometimes, so makeup can melt off your face in Ireland in hot weather. So you can imagine what it would be like in 35-degree heat. So if you are bringing an Irish makeup artist with you, choose them carefully and talk to them about how makeup is going to be over there. And if you do bring a makeup artist with you, I know I had Yvonne Marr here on with me recently, and she was talking about, she does weddings away as well. She is with the bride all day. And she will keep topping up her makeup and making sure that it's perfect. So have a chat with your makeup artist that you're bringing with you and make sure they're with you for the day. Okay. So booking suppliers. Jenny, we got married last year. We had a great day. However, I remember reading this one. However, the videographer that we chose really upset me on the day. Like, that's awful. Really, really awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. His attitude was really bad. He seemed to be in a really bad mood for the whole time, and I felt like asking him to go home at one stage. While the footage he sent back was really good, his personality was shocking. We probably should have done our research a bit better. Look, okay, I'm not sticking up for him. God knows what happened to him. Was he in a bad mood for something that had just happened in his life before he arrived? I don't know. But look, I suppose as a wedding professional, as a wedding supplier, there have been times where, something has happened in my life, or you're going to a wedding and you're not in the best form. But when you knock on that front door and that mammy of the bride opens the door, you are on. And that smile has to come on that face, and you are there to bring energy to their wedding day. So I'm going to give you an example here. Recently, I was doing a wedding and there was a makeup artist, and she was in shocking form. Now, I've worked with her before. I don't know her that well, actually. And I just thought she was quiet. And the wedding that I worked with her on before, the bridesmaids were just saying, God, she's not in great form. And there was just a little bit of that. But recently I was working with her again, and she was an absolute nightmare. And, I have sort of thought, should I send her a mail and just tell her like the impact that she had on the day? So she came along in the morning and she was given out about where she was setting up, apparently. The bridesmaids were all terrified to go into the room. And this kind of went on. And like, I'm going, are you actually kidding me? There was another makeup artist there as well. And there were 3 hairdressers. And the girls needed a top up on their lips before they were leaving for the church. So this particular makeup artist, I don't think had done a couple of the bridesmaids' makeup, but like they needed their lips topped up. Like absolutely, they needed more lipstick on before they left for the church. And they went, and I said, go in and ask her, because the other makeup artist had gone at this stage. And the 3 hairdressers were still there, but the other makeup artist had gone because she was just doing a few of the additional people. And they went in and she went, no, you're fine. And she was so rude. So they spoke about her nonstop for the day. And I was still listening to it that evening. And I just thought, oh my God. You're a bride, you're organising your wedding day, you're thinking, oh my God, we're going to have such fun on the wedding morning. You put so much thought around this. And then you have this one coming along and thinking she can speak to people whatever way she wants. Well, they shouldn't. And if they're not happy, doing the job, they shouldn't be doing it. It's a wedding day. It's somebody's big day. So here we go. If you see a makeup artist and you think, I have to have her paint my face on the morning of the wedding, that's not the only thing you need to research. You need to find out what she's like. You need to have a few different conversations and make sure the energy is there. Because if the good energy isn't there, move on to somebody else. Like honestly, that just caused such kind of negative energy on the day, and there was absolutely no need for it. So I'm sorry to hear that your videographer was narky on the day and in bad mood. That's awful, and that you felt like telling him to go home. And you're absolutely right. Research is essential. So anybody out there, booking their wedding suppliers, make sure their work is good, first of all, and make sure you get on with them because it's a long day. So I have one last question. Jenny, our niece is getting married and we are giving the gift in their wedding card. Can you talk about how much money is given to couples now? We obviously want to get this right. Thank you for sending me in that question. So look, the general thing is that I suppose you cover the cost of the meal. I hear people talking about this a lot. So if the meal is €120, you put €120 per couple into the card. If you're an aunt and you're close to the couple or you're close to your niece and you want to give a little bit more, that's absolutely fine as well. So you kind of cover the meal, and if you want to get a little bit more, that's okay. And then weddings are expensive too. I would get an awful lot of couples who are getting married and their friends are all getting married because they're all the same age and they could have 10 weddings that year. Like that's a lot of money. And for you, I suppose she's your niece and you may not have 10 weddings, but weddings are expensive. So, just I suppose also put into the card what you can afford to, because, as much as you want to cover the cost of the meal and you don't want to give the wrong amount of money, don't leave yourself short either. So that's kind of what's done. Cover the cost of the meal and a little bit extra. If you can. Listen, thank you so much to everybody for sending me in your questions. I really, really appreciate it. I find some of the answers that I give to questions benefit so many more couples out there. So keep sending them in. And thanks so much for listening. And I will chat to you again next week.